You have the tendency to overthink things in sports. You have the tendency to overthink things maybe before practice, maybe before a game, what your coach is talking about, what your teammates are talking about, how you can make sure that you don't mess up in games, how you can make sure that you actually do what you're supposed to do in the game. I mean, tons of different scenarios come into play. Next couple of minutes, I just want to give you a couple of tips on how you can stop overthinking. Okay, so I was working with a fighter who competes on an international level. And all of his routines are perfectly sound. Everything from leading up to the competition, his training, his, how frequently he trained, his nutrition, his sleep, everything was, just dialed into a T. Maybe you're the same way. Maybe you're somewhere, in between, being very specific and, just having some guidelines, some general guidelines. The thing was, he went through all of these habits, all of these routines, all of these, pre-match routines, all of these pre-fight routines, not only the days, weeks, months before. On the day of the match, you're in an arena with different competitors, different people. You hear different people talking. You talk to different people. You see different people, different coaches, different countries. And, he would go through his warm-up routine. He would get his body, his movements dialed in. He would get his body at the right state. And something interesting happened. There was a 10-minute window between all of his pre-fight routines and when he actually went on the mat to fight. So this 10-minute window. Imagine what your mind does in 10 minutes. Imagine if I asked you to just go sit by yourself. Go sit in a chair for 10 minutes. No phone, no computer, no book, no anything. Imagine how many thoughts your mind would go through. It would go here, there, 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 there. I mean, I would venture to say there's probably over 100 thoughts that would come up in that 10-minute window. So he's sitting there. He's waiting for the fight before him to finish up, and his mind starts racing. He's got everything. He's put all of the time, all of the effort, all of the energy in to make sure that he's ready for that fight. It's that 10-minute window where his mind started to wonder, where his mind started to overthink. So the harder he tried to stop overthinking, and this is true for everyone, the harder you try to stop overthinking, the worse it actually gets. So the number one thing to understand then is not to try harder. As athletes, we're trained to put in more work, put in more effort, put in more energy. When something doesn't go your way, go work harder, go put in more time, go work on your skills, go get more reps in. That's the mindset that most athletes are in. On the mental side of the game, though, if you're overthinking things, what tends to happen is that you try harder, and then you try harder, and you put more reps in, you put more time in, and you think about it again, and you think about it again, and you think about it again. And what we need to realize is we need to do just the opposite. We need to actually stop trying so hard on the mental side. We need to stop trying to force it on the mental side. And if we want to talk about reps, if we want to talk about conditioning our minds, we need to change those reps from trying to beat ourselves up mentally, overthinking, to actually directing that thinking, directing that focus. And what do you focus it on? What do you direct it on? The number one thing that you can do to direct your focus is figure out, okay, what do I actually want to happen? See, overthinking usually becomes a problem when you're, talking about all of these scenarios, you're envisioning all of these scenarios that haven't even happened yet, that you hope you don't mess up, that you hope don't go wrong. Instead, try to control that thinking, try to take conscious awareness of that thinking and say, what do I actually want to happen in this scenario? And that's a key. We can get into another video, the power of questions. But asking yourself powerful questions to direct your thinking, how do I want this scenario to turn out? How do I want to perform here? What should I do to make sure that I'm at my best? What should I do, or what can I do to make sure that I'm on top of my game? So you're directing the thinking. You're not trying harder to stop overthinking. So to stop overthinking, you've got to actually flip the script to say, okay, I've actually got to try a little bit less. I've got to try a little bit easier. And how can I take control of this thinking? What do I want to actually happen? And envision that. What do I want myself to be saying? And actually say those things to yourself. Then this mind-body connection starts to work in sync. So the overthinking, you get out of your head and you start to get into your body. You start envisioning the way you want your body to move. You start telling yourself what you actually want to do, what you actually want to happen, instead of just being stuck in our head. So think long, we think wrong. Simple as that. Anyways, hope everyone's doing well. If you found some value in this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff, and we'll see you on the next training.